of Israel. And
Mhm.
Marcia, I have admired your work for many years, and I know I speak on behalf of many coaches here when I say that your book, Coach the Person, Not the Problem, has deeply influenced how we think about coaching, and especially in times of uncertainty. And that is exactly why tonight's topic, coaching through the fog of uncertainty, feels so powerful and, of course, so relevant for us. And before we begin, a small technical note for those attending for CCE credits. During the session, we will post a number in the chat from time to time, and please reply with that number in the chat so we can confirm your attendance for CCE purposes. And now, with my great appreciation, please join me in welcoming Dr. Marcia Reynolds.
Thank you.
The floor is
Uh,
yours.
yeah. It's interesting, the whole concept of fog of uncertainty when um, life is never certain. And but the brain likes to think it is. And so even though we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, and you all have much more uncertainty than I have, but the brain likes to assume this might happen, this might happen. It's when we get into stages like this where it's like the brain is not good enough to make us think that we understand. So it feels foggy because I'm not sure what to do. When honestly, every day we figure out what to do. And just being able to be with our clients, to be present, to hold the space so they can just talk through what's different right now for them. So they get even a sense of, if not hope, control. It's such a critical thing. And but I can remember the first time I delivered this, on the fog of uncertainty was actually at the beginning of the pandemic. Because all of a sudden the world was upside down and we didn't know. We really had no idea of what was going to happen. And the thing was, the first time I taught it was for coaches in China. And it was long before other people, certainly here in the US, that they were like understanding what was coming. But I knew what was coming because of that, that, okay, something big is going to impact our lives. What is it that we need to know or do as we go forward? At times like this, you're all so needed, and it's so important to use coaching skills if you're not a coach, but to have coaches, because all it is helping people think through, what it is that the brain doesn't like. The brain doesn't like uncertainty. So how can I see beyond my brain, which is difficult for individuals? So you being a thinking partner outside of their brains to help them think through is so critical, and it's such a gift. So I'm always grateful being able to present to coaches all over the world because we make a difference. And uncertainty is not going to go away. The depth of it may, but it's always there. So I'd like to share my slides, and please, if there's anything that I say that is not clear, write it in the chat or interrupt me. I don't mind, and because I like to make sure that we address that in the moment. But we will have time. I'm going to do a coaching demo, and we should have time for questions after. But it's the lack of what did she mean by that? If you have that question, please ask. Please ask. Okay. So, you know, I know that we've known, the change and the difference between change and transformation and what we need to do. The concept of change, if any of you have read the classic book by William Bridges, Transitions, and he called it actually the fog of fear. That when we move from one state to the next, to before we can embrace what's new, we go through this fog. So that's where I think I picked up the fog. I like the concept of fog. We can't see clearly. But change happens in our lives all the time. So to say people don't like change, it's not true. People don't like being changed, or they may have to make a change that wasn't their choice. It just came up and it was required. But we're making changes all the time. Change my clothes, change my chair, and that's a part of our lives. But how we deal with the change, if it wasn't our choice, that's how quickly can we adjust. That's what resilience is. And that's what we do. That's how we help our clients is, what is it that's going on? How can we see it clearly so we can identify a way forward even when it's foggy? And the resilience then leads to transformation. um, it's much harder to transform my life, who I think I am, than just try to change what I do. I can change what I do, but oftentimes it's not going to last if I don't change who I think I am. But that's a process. That's a process, and so that resilience needed in transformation. If I want to, if I imagine myself, if you say, what is it that you want to create, and they paint a picture of a better relationship, what they want to do with their job, who they want, how they want to handle a fearful situation. The most important question is then to ask, so who are you in that picture? Who are you in that picture? But they can then define who they want to be and who they want to become. But actually, the process to becoming takes time. So even though I realize that's possible, I can be that. I can be that leader. I can be that uh, that manifester. Um, but for me to go from why I didn't think I was that now to being that in the future, I have to say goodbye to who I think I am now, even if it's not serving me. I have to explore the beliefs holding that in place, why I think I define myself as I am now and not that. And so navigating that shift in who I think I am is even more difficult, but change won't last if that doesn't happen. Change won't last. Um, when I came across this book, Life is in the Transitions, he takes William Bridges' three-step model, but he takes it, I really like the way he labeled it, the long goodbye. That letting go of who I think I am, that takes time. There's actually a little grieving, even if it's like um, I'm defining myself by a limiting belief, I'm not good enough, to let that go, because then I have to step into I am good enough and this is what I'm going to do, and that's scary. So I'm believing I'm not good enough is kind of keeping me safe, and so, helping coaching people to release, to let go, of the life that they had, the who they thought they were. That takes time. And then, as they're sorting through and trying on this new life, this new sense, it's called the messy middle. I love that. That's the fog, the messy middle. And where Bridges said, we go down the highway of our life and then we decide to take an off ramp, and it's foggy. And that's where he said the fog of change, the fog of fear. And it's going to be foggy, and we have to navigate through that because you can't really go back. If you go but try to get back on the freeway, you're going to be in trouble. So you can't really go back. And all that must happen before we can fully embrace the new beginning, the new possibilities. And this is again why it's great that coaching goes forward more than one session. I can have a big breakthrough and they're like, yeah, yeah, I'm stopping myself. This is who I want to become, blah, blah, blah. But then what happens during the week? Sometimes it works, sometimes we fall backwards. And having the coach there to be by us as we, to stand by us as we walk through that fog of uncertainty, before the new, we can embrace the new. So the difficulty is letting go, before we can accept what's new. And we grieve. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be a tangible thing, a job, a house, a person. It could be a dream, a loss of a dream. My first published book, by my publisher, that I didn't self-publish, my first published book was based on my doctoral dissertation. And I had studied smart, strong women in the workplace. And I actually met my editor at an ICF conference, sitting in the back of the room, and I was mad I had to sit in the back of the room in a breakout. And I turned and I asked her, what brought her there? And she's like, I'm an editor. I'm looking for new ideas for books. And that led to my first published book. I now have 5 with that publisher. But it meant so much to me. As a little girl, I had always wanted to be a published author. And I decided, okay, the book's going to come out. I'm going to change my business. I'm going to focus on women. And I had all these ideas. And I said, I'll give it a year to make this transition of my work, because that's all I can afford. And it was, around a year, I was like going through this period where I was waking up and didn't want to get out of bed, and I was tired and I had no motivation. And I called my coach and I explained it to her, and she said, "What are you grieving?" And I went, "Oh." And I remember a year ago, I promised myself, I'd give it a year, and then if it didn't work, I'd have to just go back to working with everyone, which was fine. But I had to grieve that loss of that dream. And I said, okay, I'll give it a couple days. And once I recognized it, then, I could let myself process it. And it was so interesting because within that week, I was talking to my editor, and the idea for my next book came up, The Discomfort Zone. And it was like I grieved it and opened for the new possibility. But if I hadn't had my coach to call, I was just like, oh, it's time to retire. And I forgot. And so, if you can think of times in your life when you've had a loss of something that you wanted, and then you had to really accept, that there was no more hope. We hang on to things, if there's hope, even though uh, it may not, we recognize it may not happen. I remember reading, in my doctoral program, a book on love addiction. And she said, that's the thing. Anytime we think there's a possibility of hope for something we want, it's hard to let go, And so it's almost like, that's even a difficult thing to coach people through. So it's so fascinating when you think then about, um, what kind of transformations and things that we're helping our clients with or people around us. But it's difficult to transition from one version of ourselves to another. Um, and even if I change, I coach you and you recognize a belief that you're holding on to that's not serving you, you let it go. And you know what you want in the future. That doesn't mean that you're actually going to change. You may change a few things that you do, but transformation really requires a shift in me, a shift in being, a shift in who I think I am. And we do this. If you think about who you were 10 years ago, 20, 30 years ago, it's so interesting. I have a new neighbor right behind me, and we ran into each other and we realized that 20 years ago we dated. And and so we sat and had coffee and talked about what had happened in those 20 years and who we have, how our lives were so different than just that. And so yes, we had transformation in our lives. It was really kind of fun to explore that, but we don't think about it. And so we all can do this, even though some people will say, I can't. Yes, we can. We do it all the time, but consciously doing it is a different thing. And that's what we do with our clients. So that whole thing about who I think I am in the present and what's making my present situation difficult because of my thinking, that's what we help them with. We coach their thinking. We are thinking partners. But I love these quotes that who we believe we are is often the enemy of who we want to become. That if I'm really going to embrace doing things new, I have to embrace that I'm changing too. And again, transformation doesn't happen like a change. I change my shirt, but I don't change who I am in one conversation. I have to embrace that and take it on and see evidence that it's going to be okay. I let my brain know it's going to be okay because I kind of have to let that old self die, which isn't an easy process, which isn't easy. So I have to let go of who I think I am to create a new reality. But that's difficult, and it often brings up lots of emotions because that shift is where there's most uncertainty. Not just what I do. If I'm going to talk to people differently, well, it's uncertain, but I'll see the results right away. But as I try to shift who I think I am, again, it's uncharted territory. It's uncomfortable. It's awkward, and people they're going to judge me. I'm going to judge me, and it takes that messy middle to get through that before there's a becoming, and that's where coaching comes in. Um, so that letting go of beliefs and identity, it's foggy, awkward, and even scary. And that's why people need coaches. And that's why they need you. We're thinking partners. That's how I define it. I don't, yes, I don't give advice. I don't diagnose you. I'm just here to help you think through this because it's uncertain in the direction you're going. And so I'm going to help you think through it in the best way you can right now, um, so you can embrace the changes you want to make. Um, but you have to have an unwavering trust in the coaching process. You have to believe in them, even when they're like, I don't know what to do. What would you do? Don't fall into that trap. I always say, well, have you ever seen anyone else face this? What do you think they did well? What was difficult? What's been going on in your mind that you're not believing, that you've thrown out? Can we just look at that? Because they have ideas, but they're not trusting them. Because I always say, but my experience it is not the same as yours. It may be similar, but not the same. And so I want to help you go through your experience because my advice is not appropriate for your experience. So, I may give them resources that they can read or something and to help them see things. Um, but I don't want to give them advice because if it goes bad, then they can blame me. So we coach slow at first. And this has been my mantra this year. I've really come across this that, in trying to help people come to agreements in a coaching conversation, that seems to always be difficult to have a clear, concrete destination of what the person really wants to create as a result of the coaching. And they don't know. If you ask that question up front, what do you want out of our time together? They don't know. They're just going to tell you the problem. And so, trying to listen into their story and help them see, first what's holding them back so they can then create what they want. But I realized the problem is that we're not necessarily taking the time to see what they see. So before you even ask them, what do you want? Let me see what you see. Tell me how you see the situation. And when they say an abstract word, like it just feels awkward. Tell me what awkward is to you right now, or I, I- you know, I, people are telling me not to do this. So how is what they're telling you not to do in conflict with what you want and what you think you can do? Help me see your situation and how you're defining it before we then define what it is you really want. So coach slow. So this is what I mean by coaching slow. Spend time seeing what they see and how they interpret themselves. They're going to throw in a little statement in there somewhere. Yeah, but I'm just not sure I can do it because I'm not experienced enough. And so they're defining themselves as I don't have enough experience. I'm an inexperienced person. And they throw in these things. Or I just people, I'm kind of invisible in the meetings because I'm the new person, um, or I'm the only, whatever that is, minority, woman, could be man in the room. That it's that self-definition that's really holding all the beliefs and everything else together. So listen into their view of reality and their identity. So just start your coaching by asking, what's on your mind? What's your challenge? Don't ask them, what do you want out of our time together? Ask them, just tell me, what is it that you've been thinking about? What would you like to explore with me today? Just ask a generic question, then listen to their story. Be curious about the meaning of key words, anything that has an emotional uh, charge to it, you know. Uh, but it's that I just don't have the confidence. So tell me, what is confidence in this situation? Define that for me. Do not assume that you know. Um, Always ask because it's not just for you, it helps them. They've been saying this over and over and over, and they don't know what they're saying anymore until you feed it back to them and they go, oh, what do I mean by that? And that opens up a whole dimension of the story that makes it much more profound when you get to, so what is it that you want to create or change that's not happening now? And that's the question I ask. What is it that you want to change? Or I hear what it is that you really want a more stable relationship with your boss. Define stable. What does that look like? Is that what you want to work on in our time together? So that question should come out of your exploration of the story. So we recap and summarize their problems, their outcomes based on their key descriptor words or phrases. And anytime they say something more than once, say that, okay, you've now said 3 times, but I can't change these people, but I can't change these people. Is that the big belief that's making this difficult? And what's the truth to this? Is there something else that you can do other than change them? Um, they give you what it is they need to work on always if you're just patient and go slowly with it. And if there's an emotional or energy shift, and don't just notice like, oh, when they get excited about a new awareness, that's easy. But when they sigh and they look away, and then they come back to ask, could we stop for a moment? Could you tell me what just came up for you? What thought just came to mind? You hesitated inside and looked away. Something came up. Ask him about that. Um, and if they show hesitation, just name it. When you said, this is what I want, but it didn't sound like a lot of commitment behind it. What's the hesitation? Don't be afraid to notice that. And you can be wrong. I once said to a client, you looked away, you looked down, you sighed, you rubbed your forehead. It looked like you were kind of sad. And he said, not sad. I'm embarrassed what I just realized I've been doing. It's like, yeah, I was like, okay, so tell me what you just saw. What you just realized. There's so much in just noticing those shifts. Then you can ask, once you get the story clarified and what's the beliefs behind it, what it means to them, um, what's happening in that moment as they're telling you their story, then you can ask, so what is it that you want to change or create that's not happening now? if they said they want a decision, make a decision or plan, what would that give them? A decision and a plan is not an outcome. Okay, what will the plan give you? What are you hoping the plan will give you if you do it right? What are you hoping, what's making it difficult to make the decision because you're afraid of not getting, or you're afraid will happen if you make the decision. Um, and if they're reluctant to look at something, just, so what would help you? What goal do you have right now that you'd like to just kind of sort through? Um, that might help you achieve some of your goals. Then ask them, and who are you in this picture? So don't ask the who question out of context. Wait till you get either they tell you in their story and you identify that, but the who they want to become, let them picture their future first and then ask them, so how are you showing up in that picture? They don't always understand who are you. And so I often say, so how are you showing up if I'm not coaching a coach? How are you showing up in that picture? And if your emotions are intense, um, they cry, they get angry. That's okay. That's just a human reaction. Honor it because AI doesn't have it, you know. So this is great when we recognize the human capacity to feel sadness as well as joy, to feel love as well as sorrow. Honor all the emotions. There's no bad emotions. Don't back off. Just hold the space and care about them, love them, hold compassion for them as they go through this emotion. The intensity will subside. And then you can ask them, would you share what just came up for you? So don't judge any emotion and please don't try to fix them. Those of you that know me and been through my things, I love to say this, you're not there to help them feel better. And I say this adamantly, I've been teaching coaching skills in China for 17 years at a coaching school for coaches. And they always have the habit, as soon as they seem to cry easily. And as soon as somebody starts crying, they always reach in to pat them on the leg. And I'm like, don't touch. And then they laugh. But, it's that if the moment that we want to make them feel better, we've made them weak, they can come out of this and they will. And they may say they're sorry, and that's okay. But don't take care of them. Let them work through it and then ask them, would you share what just came up? Even if it's just a snippet of something we can look at together. Because sometimes it takes a little processing to really state it. And so what we do in those moments is we see them. We see them. That's what we do as coaches. I love this statement by Parker Palmer. The human soul doesn't want to be advised or fixed or saved. Do not think you're not giving value if you don't give advice. I know I did. Most new coaches feel, but if I'm not giving them something, what value am I? I'm just listening. That's great value in this crazy, uncertain world. Having someone giving them the space just to talk through and knowing they won't be judged. What a gift. What a gift. Because we're always trying to change people's minds to just talk, even. So even if you're a new coach, just give them a safe space. Notice what they're saying, do a little bit of reflection, maybe ask a question, but know they want to be seen, heard, and companion. Exactly, exactly as they are, who they are today. So you receive what they give you with deep care and appreciation for them and their human experience, wherever they are. You feed their needs to be seen, understood, and valued. And I know it's difficult at times, we always, by nature, we do that assumption. Oh, I've been there before. I know your experience. Don't do that. Don't do that. Then you're going to miss something. You're not going to stay curious as to how they see it. Your experience is different than theirs. I was coaching a group of women that live in this little community outside of Brooklyn, New York. And they all grew up together. They all have the same religion. They all, and whenever they coached each other, it was so hard to stay curious. I'm like, this is great gift you're giving each other. Stay curious. You don't know. I don't care you live next door to this person all your life. You don't know. Give them the gift of not knowing. Be curious. Let them. Your sorting is their sorting too. So, really, the most important factor when we're dealing with uncertainty is creating that safety and trust. And I know the competency is trust and safety, but they're not going to trust you if they don't feel safe. Safety comes first. I have to feel safe with you, that you're not going to judge me, that this is okay. I can say whatever I want. And even if I'm coaching you and I don't quite believe what you're saying, that's yours. That's yours. I have to release my own judgment, my own judgment. And that's why I say I love teaching coaching skills in China, because they trigger my value system all the time. When I'm doing demos, they'll say something, my whole body goes, "Arr." And it's like, let it go, let it go. Their politics has nothing to do with the issue they just brought. Let it go. They've so helped me recognize my judgment, and I hold it in my solar plexus. Release it, let it go, let it go. And come back and be present and appreciate the human in front of you. And that's what we do. But I'm going to skip this, share your thoughts. We'll come back to that, but because I want to get to the demo. But know that they feel seen by your energy that you bring. I'm here for you. I care about you. I'm curious about what you have, how you see the situation. Um, that's what we bring. When they feel seen, when they feel seen, that what happens is any anxiety, frustration they're feeling, it starts to dissipate and they start opening up to you. So when we talk about psychological safety, that's what's happening is the brain chemistry actually eases, the adrenaline and opens their brain, and they feel like this is an okay situation to talk. And that's what we create with our emotions, not our words, the energy, the emotions we bring. This is critical if they're uncertain and they're afraid of what's coming and not sure, they're not sure what's going to happen. So we always the brain goes to the worst case scenario, and the worst case scenario may occur or not, but their brain closes down. We have to help them open their brain to possibilities. So your emotional state will impact their emotional state. When they feel that you are there for them, that you see them, you understand them, and they are important enough to get your full body attention without judgment. And they know, because they know when you go off in thought, can I not think and just be here with you? What happens is that care for you, that I feel, that curiosity, um, and even my courage, they start to feel your emotions because you're the coach, you're the socially dominant person in the conversation, even if you're an equal partner. Their emotions are going to start regulating with yours. And if they feel your anxiety or your confusion, then it breaks connection and they back off, and then they start feeling anxiety as well. Your emotional state is critical to help them through any kind of fog of uncertainty. So you have to know what you're bringing in, know when you fall out of it, and how quickly can you come back to, I'm curious and I care. I'm calm and courageous. Two emotions, pick two. And they will then stay with you through this process. They'll even go deep with you. What happens is the creative center of their brain, and it's a center that they can't consciously access. It's called the hidden brain. And we all know it's there because there's been times, I'm sure, think back to a time where uh, you were trying to solve a problem. It didn't have to be a life problem, but you're trying to solve something and you can't come up with the right solution. And then you say, oh, and you forget about it. And then you go do something else. You play a sport, take a shower, or go to sleep. and you wake up with the answer, or you're in the shower, it's like, oh, I know what to do. Because what happened, you quit thinking and you allowed the hidden brain, the processing brain to sort through and come up with a solution. Because it won't do that when you're busy trying to sort through what you cognitively know. So it can take that and create that. But if there's any emotion attached, it doesn't work on its own. And so we're opening that part of the brain when they feel safe and we start to use reflections and questions. Um, then that part of the brain starts to activate. And that's what we do for them. They can't do this for themselves. I can't do it for myself. So you stay strong with your emotions. Don't disappear. Don't disappear. So we stay present with compassion and courage. We appreciate what they offer. We breathe. Anytime you feel a point of tension in your body, just release it. And then take time to use curiosity to discover what they want, what's getting in the way, and what they will commit to. That's all you have to remember when you're coaching. You don't have to remember your competency list. You'll do your best. You can work on that with your peers and uh, your mentors after coaching and develop it and practice. But in the moment, stay present with them, because that great gift we give them is I see you. I see you. I'm here for you. I see you. I'm here for you. And that's where I want you to be, especially if somebody's really lost, feels lost in this moment. Okay, so um, mastery is the deepening of presence. That's one of my Marciaisms. I don't know a perfect coach, so don't try to be coach. Perfect. Always come back to that presence. I am here for you. And so I want you to remember that I said forget about your competencies. I recognize that at the very beginning of your coaching journey, you have to learn your competencies because that's the crutch that's going to take you out of telling people what to do because that's what we normally do. And so to shift your thinking habit to listening and reflecting and asking questions, the focus on the competencies help. But again, in the moment, like my first teacher said, just go love them. Just do that. Don't try to be a perfect coach. You don't even know what you're doing. And that was so important. But as soon as you know your competencies, forget them. In the moment, it's just not important. Try not to think. If you catch yourself thinking, let go and come back. I am here for you. I'm present for you. I see you. I see you. So you're always just with full open presence asking, what do they really want that's not happening now? And what's getting in the way? Once they say what they want and you agree to that, then you coach them. What's stopping the smart person from achieving it? Don't ask them how you're going to do it. Just what's stopping you from doing it? What's missing? What has kept you from even taking time to make that plan? Yeah. They need you to be present most in these times of change and uncertainty. Um, accept them so they don't feel broken. Believe in them so they can transform. So I'm going to stop. And before I do the demo, I just want to ask you if you have any questions about what I said or uh, any like something that stood out for you. Does anything come up that you want to share before I do the demo? We have Claudia.
Thank you so much for so much wisdom. It's amazing to listen to you as a new coach. So much gratitude. Thank you.
You're welcome.
When you were talking about this other hidden part of the brain, I was just wondering if that's like intuition, like maybe after someone processes their fear, maybe they feel
Um,
safe. Like I was just wondering if you have more
yeah,
insight into that.
yeah. No, it's not intuition. Your intuition is your nervous system.
Mm.
Okay. That's just a processing center. That's where creativity is, and it things reconnect and unconnect and reconnect, and boom, I have an insight. It's like when you get in the zone when you're painting or singing or something, then you can actually, access, there's more access to your creativity. Intuition, when I fully open if you go to that page, that, if you go to this page on my website, in the middle of the page, there's a visualization to open your head, heart, and gut before you coach. Because what's happening, what is intuition really is I am taking in information all the time from my gut. My gut has, what, 500 million neurotransmitters, but it doesn't have language. And so it sends signals up to my brain, and my brain translates. But you, every language I've taught in 48 countries now, and every language has some kind of statement of, I should have listened to my heart. I should have trusted my gut. We all do, but the brain then filters it and goes, no, 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 don't believe that. Don't do that. That's scary. It's there. And so when I receive from you as a client, and with a full open nervous system, I open my brain with curiosity, my heart with love, compassion, with gratitude, and my gut with courage. And you all have courage. And stay open. That then that's what they pick up from us, and I'm open to receive from them without judgment. So if I'm not thinking, which I've worked 30 years on this, so just know it's taken a long time, that I don't think. I take in and I share back what seemed to me important to you. That's intuition. It felt to me as if that was important, or if there was something behind that, or I sensing a metaphor, like you're pushing a rock up a hill. That comes from my heart and my gut, not my thinking. This is just old beliefs here. So work on that and see the difference in your coaching. When I teach live, and I've done that, the exercise with coaches, and we ask each other questions from our heart and our gut. It's amazing how different it is, right? Than from your head. Yeah. So yeah, that's intuition there. Yeah. That's creativity. This is intuition. Thank you for that question. That's really important.
Thank you
Yeah.
for that amazing answer.
Okay, anything else? So is my coaching partner here,
Uh,
Marianne?
yes, your coaching partner for today is Evgenia Shalimova.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, because another hasn't joined us. And the question,
Okay.
yeah, the question is, shall we stop recording, or we're going to record the demo?
Um, it's up to the client, not me.
Yeah, yeah, sure. So this was a question to Evgenia. Evgenia, hi,
Uh,
nice to meet you.
yes, good evening. Nice to meet you too, Mariana.
Good
Thank you
evening.
for invitation, and thank you, Dr. Marcia, for a wonderful webinar. I don't mind if it will serve to the community. Let it be recorded.
Thank you very
Okay.
much, Evgenia, for your permission.
And
Okay.
you can always change your mind afterwards too.
Sure, sure.
We did have that happen this week. We did a demo, and at the end, she said, because she was talking about quitting and becoming a coach, whatever, and she says, "Oh my God, please don't share this recording because I haven't told my boss." So, so yeah, so you always have the option later.
Yeah,
All right, so
it's a remind for everybody here who passed the exams that we're supposed to ask for assessment in the beginning and the end as well as. Okay.
right.
So,
Yeah, we have to be careful. All
sure.
right. If all of you would turn off your cameras, so there's not any distraction. Uh, and I'm going to attempt to pronounce your name. So it was Evgenia?
Right.
Evgenia?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And I wonder, Gayla, if you could turn off your camera if that's possible. Or maybe Mariana, if you can turn off her camera just so I see the two of us, or maybe if we're pinned. Let me just see. Dynamic gallery. Okay, that'll work. Okay. So I know that you have something, they gave me one word, but I'd love to hear the challenge that you're facing right now.
Yes, I will share it. And I am coming originally from Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
And for the last 4 years, I have been living in Norway. So it was a
Mm-hmm.
big transition from one place, from a homeland to a new land. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
not very new because I traveled to Norway from 1995. So
Mm-hmm.
it was a deliberate choice on one side to move from the Ukraine to Norway and not to choose another country. But Norway has opened up for me completely as a completely different land when I became an immigrant. So when I
Mm-hmm.
was coming as a minister, when I was coming to visit, it was one sort of country. But when
Mm-hmm.
I became an immigrant, the one who did not plan originally immigration, and it was a lot of pressure, it was a lot of demands, a lot of things I had to adapt and adjust, and learning the language, finding a new
Mm-hmm.
job, following the rules, and I did. I I took the course. I completed the exam in Norwegian, and I got my job as a language assistant,
Mm-hmm.
and continued to do the coaching. But I realized that in Norway, coaching was not very much recognized as a serious profession, and I had a lot of resistance when
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to share that I would like to actually do the coaching business.
Mm-hmm.
And it was no from many angles and from many sides. So for the last 4 years, I was holding myself in a form like a sportman. So I was
Mm-hmm.
coaching. I had my
Mm-hmm.
clients, but mostly it was not done as I wanted it to be,
Mm-hmm.
because I had a dream to build up a business, a coaching business.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally decided, after 4 years, I decided that I cannot continue this way. I have to do something. And the biggest challenge or a problem I met of uncertainty was that
Mm-hmm.
the status of collective protection in every country in the Europe, including Norway, it's only for 1 year. And after one
Mm-hmm.
year is over, so I do not know what the future holds for me. So
Mm-hmm.
I could not really try to get my roots down and to start
Mm-hmm.
integration process fully, because I tried with the language, with the culture, with the mentality, with the job, and I always met no. Remember, you are temporary here. You are
Mm-hmm.
not welcomed as a citizen here. You shall return to your land. So I heard many things which was difficult
Mm-hmm.
to accept, but I knew that yes, I it was for the period I was there,
Mm-hmm.
but deep in my heart I was longing for this place where I could finally start
Mm-hmm.
building something sustainable,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and this is it.
So, okay. Well, but you've told me the story up to this point. So right here, right now, today, what is it that are you looking still to find a way of staying in Norway, or what is it that you're thinking is your pathway forward now?
Eh, it's not depend on me. It doesn't depend on me. It's not me who
Mm-hmm.
is deciding. I would love to settle
Mm-hmm.
here,
Uh-huh.
but I know nobody is asking me what do I
Mm-hmm.
want. It will be giving to me in a way that I should take the
Okay.
decision, which the government or of Norway or
Uh-huh.
Norway as a country uh,
Okay.
will
But you're
take.
sticking it out and waiting until the decision is made. Is that?
Uh, in a way, yes, but I decided that I will concentrate now on my professional path, and I will
Okay.
build coaching business.
Uh-huh.
Already being in Norway and
Mm-hmm.
waiting, instead
Mm-hmm.
of trying to get a new job, I decided, no, now I will concentrate on
Okay.
my business, and I am on my way to MCC now. So I
Okay.
decided, yes, I want that.
Okay.
And but
So that's your decision is,
yes,
yeah,
yes, I
I'm going to stay on this. I'm going to develop my coaching and develop myself.
mm,
Um, and I'll deal with it when it comes up.
yes,
That's
I did. Yes,
Mhm.
I thought that it took so much energy every day,
Mhm.
just only
Yeah.
thinking about this uncertainty and what should I do
Okay.
and how the
Okay.
future looks. So
Yeah.
I decided, no, I don't want
That's
to.
okay. So it sounds like you made your decision. This is going to be my focus. It's not healthy for me to be speculating and worrying and whatever, but I love my profession. I'm going to build it. You can take coaching wherever. So this is what I'm going to focus on. So tell me, what is the challenge that you're facing that is
Uh,
still in your head?
yeah, the challenge now it's going right in the professional angle because
Okay.
I had a lot of clients from Ukraine and
Mm-hmm.
Ukrainian Russian speaking, and now
Mm-hmm.
as I have been living in Norway and
Uh-huh.
I have been doing coaching now in both
Uh-huh.
in English and Norwegian, and
Uh-huh.
my clients. Auditoria have been shifted, but
Okay.
I do have both. Uh,
Okay.
but what a real challenge is that it's like two different worlds. When
Mm-hmm.
I coach Ukrainians, those who live still in Ukraine, those
Mm-hmm.
who have immigrated,
Mm-hmm.
and I coach those who live in United States, for example,
Mm-hmm.
or in
Mm-hmm.
Norway.
Mm-hmm.
It's two different systems, two different worlds, and
Mm-hmm.
I feel that maybe it's right to concentrate on one direction mostly, and
Mm-hmm.
to have another one just
Mm-hmm.
as a supportive,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel different after those coaching
Okay.
sessions, and
So you say you feel different.
mm,
Tell me about that.
um, it has to do with the challenges and the emotional state people come, what they
Okay.
want to resolve. Those who live in Ukraine or those who had to immigrate, and
Mm-hmm.
so it's a completely different emotional state, and the challenges, what they want to explore, what they want to do with their
Mm-hmm.
lives, compared to the settled clients,
Yeah.
C-suite business client, for example, those who have achieved a lot and
Okay.
they're searching for something else.
So can I just share with you? I
Mm,
just want to make sure I understand.
mm.
You said that it's a different emotional state that they're in. But when I asked, well, it's different for you, not them. So
Mhm.
as you experience these different emotional states, what happens to you that's making this a challenge?
I think it triggers with the Ukrainian group because I
Hmm.
am Ukrainian,
Yeah.
and I have done the supervision already a couple of times on
Hmm.
this
Hmm.
topic. So,
Hmm.
but I don't know, maybe it has to do something with my belief system or something I believe
Hmm.
that I identify unwittingly. I don't know, hidden empathy, or I'm not trying to help them when I coach, but
Hmm. So does that make it more difficult? Are you
uh,
saying, or because you have empathy that it makes it easier? What's happening in that moment for you?
uh, there is a process going on in me, like I feel I feel heavy, deep,
Heavy. I
heavy,
could see
deep,
that how you're doing
deep,
that. It feels
deep,
heavy. And
deep,
so
and
it sounds as if it's difficult for you not to take on some of their emotional
mm,
state. So
yes,
you're
I deliberately
yeah.
take a distance. I exercise some
Uh-huh.
somatic regulation, so
Yeah, yeah.
I prepare for the sessions, but
But it's still okay. So
mm,
are you saying to me, you said you wanted to make a decision of to focus, but it sounds as if you've kind of made that decision that this is taking such an emotional toll on me, that I'd rather focus over here. But it's almost how you're feeling right now.
um,
Um,
Marcia, I'm not feeling released that, oh, yes, this is the decision I like,
Mm-hmm.
because I can see that
Mm-hmm.
the change and the result people get
Okay.
in coaching relationship. It's not
Okay.
that me being a savior for them,
No, no,
or
no, that
but,
you're of value to
mm,
them. So I want to go back to what makes you believe then that you can't focus people with coach people that are dealing with different lives,
mm.
from US to Ukraine. What makes you believe you can't do both?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's coming from somewhere in my childhood. The picture that somehow I don't judge what people
Mm-hmm.
come with, but
Yeah.
it looks like uh, to me that the challenges Ukrainians are facing
Uh-huh.
now, they are
Sure.
in a way more significant and more heavy, and sorry to say that, more important, appropriate
Mm-hmm.
than something successful people just coming, okay, I want to sort out this, and this thing
Or
I have.
safe people.
Yes, but I also I respect, I accept, and I know that it's important for them, and I've seen
Okay.
tremendous result.
So there's a conflict.
Mm,
You've just presented, right? It's like it's so heavy, it's so hard, and I don't know that I know I'm supposed to, release it. I work on my somatics and I work on how to do that, but I still take it in because it's really hard. But when I said, well, it sounds like you said, no, but you made this face. No, I'm not going to give up on them. I'm not going to leave them. I know it's important. I know. And so you've got a conflict.
mm.
Okay, do you see that? And you're stuck in the middle of that.
Yes, now when you return it,
Mm-hmm.
it's more obvious. I
Mm-hmm.
felt a sense of battle, that it was
Mm-hmm.
no,
Mm-hmm.
that I was in the middle.
Yeah.
But thank you for drawing this picture so I can
Uh-huh.
see clear.
All right, so what do you see clearly now?
I see that I'm in the middle of the conflict, and that I cannot continue this way. I really, deep in my spirit, in my
Okay.
intuition, I knew that, yes, maybe for a period of time I should
Uh-huh.
step out, because I didn't allow
Oh,
myself to think for a period. I thought,
okay.
no, I should
So
just step
maybe you
out
can just take a
completely.
break so you can breathe for a little bit.
Oh,
Not
yes,
let
yeah.
them
It
go.
feels actually
Yeah,
lighter now.
lighter. I can tell.
Yes,
You totally lightened up.
yes.
Yeah, yeah. It's so interesting when we get into this state, how we think black and white, and so if it's just like just a little, yeah, no, that's what we do. That's what your clients do, right? So if we look at that, and let's coming back to the definition of your business, it's
Mhm,
like so you have people that it's easier to coach
mhm, mhm.
emotionally,
Emotionally, yes.
emotionally.
Yes.
And those that are difficult, but you care about them deeply and you don't want to let go of that. Okay. And so you just maybe need to give yourself some breaks so you can stay fully present and be of value to them. Is that what you want to create?
Yes, Marcia, I just want to say one thing. I feel it's
Mm-hmm.
important. I didn't allow myself to take this decision and to take this break.
Uh-huh.
I thought it would be a weakness for
Okay.
both. Either
Mm-hmm.
way, if I choose American side or Ukrainian
Right.
side, yes, it didn't align
Okay, so
in.
you had a should going on. I should not do this. Okay, so who are you when you let go of that should?
First of all, I just want to say free.
Free.
Yeah, the first
Yeah.
word is to say free. I'm free.
Yay. I can feel the difference. Yeah. Okay,
And
so you've given yourself permission. Have you given yourself permission to do this, to take the break?
yes, I think it's important just to,
Mm-hmm.
in a way, to declare or to make a
Mm-hmm.
statement, because
Mm-hmm.
it has worked well. It supported me.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm just choosing it myself, and when I
Yeah.
write it down, it's one
Yeah.
thing. And when I have a witness and I declare that it supports, it reminds
Yeah,
that
you
there
said
is.
it out loud. Guess what? Your brain now hears it. It
Yes,
hears you
I
say
know.
it.
I know. So
You
I
hadn't
don't
said
want
it
to have
before.
anything that I slip back or I find
Yeah.
excuses that I will not do it.
Yeah. Well, and you're much more in service of your clients when you take breaks. We forget to have fun.
Mm.
We forget to play, and then we operate off adrenaline and not those emotions the chemicals I was talking about, the joyful chemicals. And that's what I want for you. So you came into this and you weren't sure about what to focus on. So are you clear now about the structure of your business?
Yes, I can. I have it. I have got even more. I have a
Hmm.
thought now that it will
Hmm.
actually help me to come to my MCC easier and naturally and
Absolutely.
freely.
Freely. You'll be a
Yes,
much better MCC.
yes.
Yes, yes. That's
Thank you.
wonderful.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. So what's the first thing you're going to do now
The
that
first
I
thing
have you?
I will,
Mhm.
right now, during the session, before the session is over, I want to thank you and to declare that, yes, I allow myself to take this break. And as I am speaking those words now, I just
Mhm.
feel how
Yeah,
this tension is
yeah,
going down.
yeah.
And
Can I give you a different word?
yes,
I want you said you were going to allow yourself. All right. What about honor yourself?
much better, much better, much better, much better. Thank you.
Yeah, you're such a gift to these people, but you have to take care of your gift. So, yeah, yeah. And I honor you for the work you're doing.
Thank you. And I
Yeah,
honor your work and what you have
yeah, thank
put in me
you.
today in this session. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. You could be my cousin. My grandparents emigrated from Ukraine, so
Wonderful.
we could be related.
Yes, we could. Thank you.
All right. So, if are we complete? Do you feel complete?
I feel yes. I
Mhm.
I have reached more than I
Mhm.
wanted, and what I will also do as a Christian, I would like to submit it to the Lord and to make my
Mhm.
commitment with
Mhm.
Him that He will help
Okay.
me
Yeah.
following this commitment of honoring myself. So
Honoring
I
yourself.
am changing now this, and I'm learning my brain a new story.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
want to take I want to take it deeply and start learning my brain
Mm-hmm.
to use this word honoring instead of allowing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
I thank you for
You're
this
so welcome.
treasure
Coaching
and
is your
this.
ministry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yes,
All right.
we can close the session now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. So, if everyone you can turn your cameras back on and let's see if I can, yeah. Okay. Oh, and I know everyone's going to thank you for being vulnerable and being a volunteer. So, well, thank Evgenia. I think oh yeah, thank you. And we have a little time, so I'm happy to answer your questions. Or if you want to share something that stood out for you that either you appreciated or why did you do that? I'm fine with that too. So whatever you would like to share. Um,
Masha, we have a question from Judith. I don't know if it's still relevant. Judith, would
okay.
you like to ask that question? When is it a good timing to ask what is stopping you? What is getting in your way in the
Mm.
middle? Or we can ask this also around the end of the session. There was a question from
Well,
Judith.
it's yes, and it's two different intentions. Um, After you do get an agreement, and um, we sort of had an agreement up front and it kind of changed and as we went through, but once they really focus, and it takes time, the agreement evolve, and when they finally get to what it looks like that they want, that's when you ask, so what's stopping you, smart person, from doing this? And for Evgenia, there was nothing. You know, as soon as she saw it, she knew, that now we could get into a little bit more, taking the break. What does that look like? Because that, she gets busy, she may forget. So there may have been a little bit more. And that's when at the end, you can, after she said what she was going to do, you could ask it there. Could anything get in your way of you implementing your action? That would be the second place to ask it. Okay. Okay, good. Good question. And we have a question. Is it, how do you pronounce
Jana.
it? Gergana. Thank you.
Hey, Marcia. So my question was, I noticed while you were talking to Evgenia that, when she's sharing something and you are making, those small noises or okay, and that's as I understand it, rapport building. And I remember when I was doing my coach training, they would
You
tell
were
us,
told not
you
to do
should not
that.
do that. You have to stay silent. You can maybe not, but not. And it's very natural for me to also do that as well in my sessions. And I was thinking maybe I should just continue doing it because Marcia is doing it as well.
When it's repetitive and it's interrupting, then no, stop it. There was a lot that she was giving me, and it's like, so I was just and for me, it was just a confirmation. I'm hoping it wasn't disruptive, but yeah, I probably shouldn't do it as much either. But I rather you do it than sit there and worry about am I doing it.
Yeah, that's what I was
So
thinking.
practice outside of the coaching, with people you're talking to, catch yourself and maybe just, shake your head so you can work on that.
I think
But
it's actually, I think it's actually quite natural to do that. And I think up to a point, it's actually really good because it shows the other
yeah.
person that they're present. So I was going to be really
So
curious
I'm
what
just going to say,
Evgenia thought about it as
well,
well.
okay, let's ask her, but I'm going to say, just
Yeah.
don't do it for a recording.
Okay. That's a good point.
If it works for your client, fine. So yeah, Evgenia, what did you notice?
Marsha, I'm grateful. I am very fine with that. It didn't bother me. It didn't interrupt me. In a way I could see visually and I could hear because I'm very much going with all system.
Audio.
Yeah, because I have been working as a simultaneous translator
Oh,
for 30
right.
plus years. So I'm listening and it was perfect for me. Thank you.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marcia.
Yeah. Probably that it's kind of a habit for me as well because I truly am trying to take in everything. But if you noticed, she gave me all the history and I didn't go into the history. It's like, okay, she gave me the backstory, but I don't really need to go more into the backstory. I need to know what's really happening now and what's the challenge, And so when I say go coach slowly, understand what they mean. But if it's backstory, unless you ask the question, so how is that impacting what you're facing now? Try to keep it here in the present, in the future. So, yeah, really listening. That part of it, I'm not even sure. I think I just sat there while she told that. It's like, okay, she can tell me the story. Now let's go forward. And then I probably started more into the confirming what was going on and taking it in and trying to hear what's the real problem here. What's the challenge? What's the challenge? And honestly, it's just because there's so much emotion in that that's what creates the fog that we can't see through on our own. It's the emotion, and whether it's deep love, care, sympathy, or fear, anxiety, it limits our view because what happens is it creates more of the adrenaline, which actually constricts your blood flow to your brain, so you're not that creative. Yeah, and that's why it makes it difficult to see possibilities. So, yeah. So what else? Hmm? Mm-hmm. Lenka?
Yeah. Thank you so much for this demonstration. And what I would like to add on top of the things have been mentioned here, even before the demo, you said, Marcia, a very important thing that we as a coaches, we should also have fun. We should enjoy. And I saw on you, like not to take it that seriously, just to be,
Yeah.
as you say, present, but also kind of a show that we are enjoying it. And for me, this is one of the biggest takeaway today. So thank you so much for it.
You're so welcome. For whatever reason, we adults think we're not supposed to play anymore. That, always when people ask me, what is the one thing that you would want more in your life? And it's always play. I get so wrapped up in work. It's always play if we forget. And yet that sense of play is also an honoring of life. And it's important that we do that for our soul, that, we go, even if it's just going to movies that make you laugh, just to keep us open and alive. But I remember, again, it was my founder of the coaching school I went through 26 years ago. He said, bring a bit of lightness to the coaching as soon as you can, and notice them starting to lighten up. You lighten up too. Okay, bring lightness to the session. So you notice when she laughed, I laughed with her. Let's continue that. Keep the lightness. Keep the lightness. We're all so heavy underneath our difficulties, no matter what level of difficulty. We have a saying here in the US, is that a first world problem? Because, we whine over the silliest things. So, just bringing it back into perspective, and then laughing at it. So, yeah. All right. What else? Hmm? Well, there's my old friend raising his hand.
Hi, thank you so much again. What I like, the best part that I like in you is that you remind us very simply of what the simple and important things are. And don't make it too complicated as we often
Don't make it too hard.
Don't make it too hard. And the second is the way that you really dance, not only with us, but the way you danced with Yevgenia in a beautiful, zero ego, a pure love dance that just makes it feel, that's what makes it so light and easy. So even if the Yevgenia brought some tough things, and you could have hung on them, there's a lot of hardship there and complexity. And you took, you felt her path and what would serve her most. You checked that and you just flowed with her. But you always make me feeling as if we are old friends, as you said, like old friends, like we are family from thousands of years or so. So that's such a wonderful, that's such a
I
wonderful
love my
feeling.
coaching community all over the world.
So thank you very much. Toda
All
rabba.
good people. You're welcome. Yeah, always. It's not about me. It's about you. When I'm coaching you, it's about you. It's about you. And I want to hear what you're facing. I want to help you walk through this. I'm here for you. But I'm not here to fix it. I'm also here to honor you that you're smart enough to figure it out. and not me.
And I
I
want
know
to
you.
add something more, Marcia.
Mhm.
I love how you adjust, not just, but make it suitable to her style. So she speak fast, you speak fast. She
Match.
loves you match it very nicely, right? And then it's create the rapport that we are looking for, right? And the subject was very heavy, right? It was something very, but you didn't went deep into the story. You kept the frame, and it was wonderful. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, and that also, from that, that Claudia, you had asked about intuition. That's also, I'm not thinking about it. Oh,
Yeah.
now she's doing this. It's like I'm taking her energy in. We're blending energies. This is a co-energetic process. A friend of mine, Alan Briskin, wrote a book called Space is Not Empty. And I just love it because he's looking at the space between us, people, not just the energy I put out and the energy you put out, but that what we create between us. And can I just dive into that space and sense where she's at and allow her this and be with her in that. And then even to have the courage to at the end, can I give you a different word? Yeah, yeah. So, and I love that you brought it back to that, because you started by saying that you went to Norway in your ministry. So I love that you brought it back to, because that's what your coaching is. So, yeah. Very nice. And it's too bad. I was in was it last year? Yeah, last year, a year ago. I presented to the Norway chapter. So I was there talking to the coaches. So yeah, that's pretty. So there's coaches there. And it was an interesting thing because I did catch myself go into my head at one point because she was saying, they're so different. Can I actually coach people from all these different cultures? And I'm thinking, I do. I do it every week, but it's like, stop it. And it's the moment I got that, it's like, stop it, put it away, come back. So I mean, we're human. We do that. We go into our own story. We do our little judgment. We whatever. Notice, let it go. Notice, let it go. I'm not going to go there, because my thing is not her thing. If it's difficult for her, it's difficult for her. So, I accept that. So know that, I'm human too. And so I wanted to share that with you. And then for me, actually, I felt I laughed at myself. See, look, stop it. Bad coach. Yeah.
Thank you for your stop it. And also for your sense of play.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, there was a hand up. I think I saw a minute ago. No? Okay.
No, we don't have any
Claudia.
hands up yet. Any questions, guys?
Claudia's got her hand up.
Hands, questions?
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, I just would love to learn more about intuition, like how one's develop it, and like you mentioned that the intuition is in the nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
So, I learned recently that the heart has a little brain. So I don't know if
Yeah. No, your nervous system is your head, heart, and gut. They're all of them, it's connected. In fact, when you're just forming as a baby, it's all one big blob. And what happens, so the head, heart, and brain are all here. And what happens as you grow as a fetus, it starts to expand, but it's all connected by the vagus nerve. So your head, heart, and gut are fully connected. It's really the nervous system is one organ that consists of primarily the head, heart, and gut, and then has other things attached to it as well. So yes, it's your heart. You pull in things from your heart. But if you're a heart-based person, you're probably not listening to your gut. So when I practice this, a lot of coaches can hear more from their heart and their brain. We all listen to our brain, but their courage is harder, to activate. If you're like me, and I'm sure some of you as well, I'm a risk taker, and I worked in tech for years. I was often the only woman, and I had to be tough. I closed my heart down, and as a coach, I had to really learn to listen, open up, allow people into my heart. My gut, I can activate that anytime, you know. And that I got from my Ukrainian grandmother. She was a little tough woman, boy. Yeah, she shaped me. So you got to be able to open all of it. Curiosity with your brain, love with your heart, courage with your gut. Yeah. Work on that. And if the gut is harder for you to open, then think about that during the day when you're listening to people, and notice if you shut it down and you don't have courage to say something. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. AI only has a head. Yeah, it doesn't have a nervous system. It doesn't have a heart or gut. And it never will. It never will. That co-regulation of emotion can't do that. That's an energy we put out. It's measurable energy. The heart and the gut put out energy, our emotions. Happiness actually is a broad emotion that's very light, energetic waves. Anger, frustration, deep, fear is very dense, compact. Energy is like when you walk in a room and people are angry or scared, you can feel it. That's it. You pick up the energy. So know that whoever you're with, even from the moment you walk in the room, their brain is sensing your energy, because that's how we stay safe. I want to know if you're okay. And that's what you would call, that's a part of the intuition. So remember, your brain is a part of the nervous system too. So it's sensing, the protective brain is always sensing, is this safe? Is this safe or not? It's the first thing the brain says. So like if you walk in a room, a classroom, and your brain is immediately going, where is it safe for me to sit? Without consciousness, you go, and maybe you like being recognized, so you sit up front, or you feel safe in the back, or there's a guy, he was an expert in diversity. He was Chinese American, and he talks about what we recognize in our brain without thinking, and that's his expertise. And he said, I went to this conference. It was like something that had to do with diversity, whatever. And there was like 500 people in the room, and there was not a lot of seats left. There were a few, but most of them were American, European. And he went and he sat down and he turned around and he looked, and then he looked around the room and he said, my brain found the only other Asian in the room. He didn't even know it. He had sat next to him. So your brain is constantly asking, is this safe? Is this safe? So knowing that to be telling your brain, it's okay, I'm safe. You can be quiet now. I'm in a safe space. I'm in a safe space. So yeah. First thing is, is this safe? Second thing the brain says is, can I eat it? That's why if there's food right in front of us, it somehow ends up in our mouth. So yeah. Great. Well, this has been enjoyable. Any other questions?
Yes, Marcia, you said gut is for the courage, heart is for the love, and the head is for what? The thinking?
Curiosity.
Curiosity. Okay.
We open the centers with those emotions.
Okay.
So I'm curious. I don't know. Let go of knowing. I'm curious.
Thank you.
That opens your brain. And I always say, if you've had a tough day and it's hard for you to be really present, open your phone. And I bet whatever picture your screensaver is, or if you go to your pictures, you probably have pictures of your pets, of your family, of places you like to go that make you smile. So you've got your handy dandy tool right here. And whenever I do this live, I say, open your pictures and share a picture with the person. It's like, it's so hard for me to bring the audience back, because they're sharing, oh, look at this picture, and they're all laughing and smiling. So it's so interesting, because laughter can stop adrenaline better than any other emotion, even gratitude. We can shift with gratitude, with love, but laughter actually floods our brains with dopamine and serotonin, and stops any kind of adrenaline flow. I mean, have you ever been mad at somebody and they made you laugh and then you couldn't be mad anymore? And so if we can laugh together, that's a gift. That's a gift. Yeah. All right. So is it good? Are we good? Wonderful. Well, hopefully one of these days I'll see you all live somewhere. Yeah. You know, and again, I just want to thank you all. Coaching is so important. It's so important in the world right now. The world is totally upside down. And whew, you know, the energy is dense, you know, and so if we can coach people to get through that denseness, that fog, and help them see any possibilities, it's such a gift. It's such a gift. So thank you for choosing coaching. I'm always here to support you and your good work. Thank you for asking me to be here.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right. My sister's her birthday, so I'm going to go to lunch with my sister. And I'll see you. All right?
Thank you,
Good?
everybody.
Yes.
See
Thank
you.
you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Marcia.
Thanks
Thank you,
for
everybody.
participation.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.